Hey gang, Sam here. Before I start the podcast, I just wanted to share something real quick. We got a new microphone, so hopefully we won't have any of those horrible sound problems that we had before. On the other hand, that means that this first time out the gate, I was going to say we, but it's totally me. I didn't check things perfectly, and like Laura's going to sound great, Bobby's going to sound good, Lauren's going to sound fine. I don't sound great. So hopefully you don't even like the sound of my voice that much anyway, and if that's the case, then this is the episode for you. Subsequent episodes, we will try to work this out and figure out how to position things so that everyone sounds great. But as of right now, like I said, I sound like I'm about 10 feet away from the microphone. I fixed a little bit in the beginning, but for the duration, I kind of sound a little far. Anyway, hope you still can enjoy the show. 25-year-old Drew Barrymore as a high school student? Yeah, right. We watched Never Been Filmed. And we are...
It was Never Been Kissed. We watched.
Never Been Kissed. Oh, you're right. Never Been Kissed.
Yeah.
I was thinking of what I wish it had been. It's Never Been Kissed. We're in defense of bad movies. Hey everyone, welcome to In Defense of Bad Movies. Sam Bowen here. Right across from me is Bobby Mattern.
What's up?
Next to him is Laura King.
Hey.
And then there's Lauren McJanet Taylor.
Hi everyone.
So how's everyone doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Right?
We're starting off this podcast right with a really good film.
We are starting it right with a really bad film to tear apart.
Oh. Guys, it is so good.
Wow, we're filled with haters,
Bobby
apparently.
I'm so excited. Bobby loves this movie.
You know what? Bobby actually dislikes Drew Barrymore. He doesn't think, he doesn't think she's charming. Yesterday he turned to me and said, does anyone really like Drew Barrymore?
Aww.
And I think
similar thought.
he is incredibly wrong. And
I deny this, and I think she's.
I want to do an exhibit in this podcast. I'm going to bring in some outside sources, and I feel like an outside source with Roger Ebert's review of the movie is a really good one, because Roger Ebert is a legitimate, or was a, rest in peace, Roger Ebert, was a legitimate reviewer. So I feel like, and because he worked for the Chicago Sun-Times and the film,
it's true.
Took place for her.
Sometimes
it took place as Drew Barrymore
Do you
working.
think that's why he liked the movie so much, though?
No, because he acknowledges it.
Oh, okay,
so
right.
He totally acknowledges it.
I wish Gary Marshall were my boss.
I know, right?
Did he like Batman and Robin?
No, I don't think
No?
so.
I don't think he did.
I think there was some supposedly really, really bad film that Roger Ebert likes.
There's a few really, really bad films.
Okay, that's fair.
But, I mean, mostly he's spot on, and everyone thinks that his reviews are pretty accurate. So we're just going to go with
respected.
that. Yeah, very well respected. So we're just going to go
Roger
with
Ebert
that.
is a national treasure, and so is Drew Barrymore.
This is post-talking and convincing Bobby. So...
Ooh, so you were able to convince somebody. So
okay, so I'm just going to say, let's see. He says about Drew Barrymore.
Bobby, do you not like her big chin and her stroke mouth?
No, I feel like she injects a lot of emotion into every scene.
The movie screenplay is contrived and not blindingly original, but Barrymore illuminates it with sunniness and creates a lovable character. I think this is what is known as star power. I concur, Roger. I concur.
Oh, Roger.
I think she's charming. I do not see. Looking back on this, people thought she was attractive. What was going on now?
That
by the end, when she's finally found herself, she's all cute.
She looks better.
Made up.
That's for certain.
She's a cutie.
Actually, to be fair, and this is a thing that I will say is, I actually really liked about the movie. I did find Drew Barrymore attractive, and I did not find her conventional in most of it. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a really refreshing thing to have in like a big budget studio
I
romantic
am
comedy.
so offended, Sam, because I had several people in middle school and high school tell me that I look like Drew Barrymore. So I am just going to throw a dart.
Were you an alcoholic?
You've aged well. That's why.
Wow.
I'm just saying she should not be shot in profile.
She has very strong features, but I agree. I like that she is unconventional and different, and that she can hold the star role when she's not plastic and boring.
Mm-hmm.
But we are getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Laura, you had a little intro that you wanted to share.
Opening
Yes.
statements you made.
The year 1999 proved a successful year in movies, namely because of one romantic comedy, Never Been Kissed. I know what you're thinking. This movie is considered a bad movie? Yes, unfortunately, it's true. Some people think that Drew Barrymore's charm can't sustain the movie, earning it only a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to prove that not only is Barrymore downright delightful, but the movie is an earnest, heartwarming story of rediscovering yourself. So all you naysayers are going to be proved wrong by the end of this. So let me just tell you that. So we can continue now.
Back to what I was saying. When they first showed her, I thought,
This-
what? No, they did not. I'm like, they did a really good job of making Drew Barrymore look, dumpy and whatever. And then when I realized, wait, she kind of looks like that.
Punch you in
I'm
the
being,
face.
perhaps I'm being mean. I don't know.
You are being
It's demeaning.
so mean about it.
Though the movie does do a great job. The way she starts, she's so hopeless and just wearing terrible clothing and no makeup. And I love how much she commits to being ugly, awkward Drew Barrymore at the very beginning and through so much of the movie.
Yeah.
I actually, during the movie, I was kind of rolling my eyes because I felt it was doing the romantic comedy thing where it was, they weren't putting a ton of
But
makeup
even
on
when
her.
she
and I was
even when they cut her hair and dye it when she goes back to high school to be a high school student, I think that they don't put a lot of makeup on her. It's not like she's totally glamorized or anything.
No, I agree, but I was just like, yeah, sure, Drew Barrymore's the chick in high school who's totally unpopular and who no one likes, and I actually totally I didn't.
I could
completely buy
relate
into
to
the
that.
critique.
I mean, because
Really?
I wasn't necessarily popular. I wasn't as unpopular as her character was supposed to be, but I mean, I felt I could relate to that and how, they're just downright mean people in high school. And they're just cruel people.
High school's tough, no doubt about it. Let's talk about some of the actors in here. Really good comedic actors. Molly Shannon, a repeat appearance. She was in The Grinch.
That's
That's
right. Second
true.
time Molly Shannon's
Wow.
on our show.
She's
In defense of bad
She
movies,
makes
regular
she
Molly
makes
Shannon.
good, proving she makes good, strong choices.
John C. Riley.
C.
Academy Award
Right.
nominee John C. Riley.
John C. Riley's in this movie, you
Speaking of
guys.
Academy Awards, Octavia
Octavia
Spencer.
Or
Yeah,
anyone
okay.
who she was.
An Academy Award winner Michael Vartan.
This was the first experience of Michael Martin, and this was nice seeing him back when he was cute and young and before Alias had betrayed me. So I really liked seeing him.
Which one's he? Oh, okay.
He's a teacher.
The pedophile-
Before
the pedophile.
anyone ever told
and
me he
let's
wasn't
not
Michael
forget
Vaughn.
the Aaron Burr guy from the God Milk
Yeah.
commercials.
Sam's observation. When we were watching. See,
Or also,
it's-
as I like to refer to him, the Oneaters guy from That Thing You Do.
that's right. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
He makes a comment
Neon
like something like,
Netters.
"Oh, somebody said I was fat." That guy has
Yes.
never been fat.
Never in
He
his
was
life.
born
Something
like
about-
looking like Groot.
Jessica Alba is in it.
Jessica Alba,
She
yes.
Marley Shelton.
Lily Sobieski, who's supposed to be the next. big
Lily
thing.
Sobieski.
What?
And James Franco.
His
James
fir-
Franco.
This was his
Franco.
first movie. Yeah.
That was awesome. It
Coming
was a
on
good
from
year
some-
for him.
What is Lily Sobieski's claim to fame? Not that I have anything against her. I like Lily Sobieski just fine. But what is her claim to fame exactly?
I feel like
She was supposed to be the next big thing for a while.
And she still is.
She never was.
There was a few things that she was in, like nothing huge, but just enough to take notice of her. And yeah, I feel bad. Like, where did she ever go? She's in this. Like,
She was
she's
in
such
Deep
a-
Impact.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
looking it up.
People thought she
That was a big movie, though. Deep
she
Impact was a big blockbuster. So
And
that
people
was...
thought she was, a clone of Helen Hunt, a younger clone
Baby
of Helen Hunt.
Helen
Oh, yeah.
When Helen Hunt gets too old, we can bring her in instead.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like her a
When
lot.
they were
I
doing
miss her.
when they were doing the remake of
Helen
Project
Hunt
X.
or Lily Sobieski?
Lily Sobieski.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for
I
her to
actually
be her
quite
session
like
in this
Lily
movie.
Sobieski in this movie.
Yeah,
I thought her character was cool. I thought she was cool at playing that character.
Sweet little mathlete.
Yeah. I don't know her name in the movie. I just know her as Lily Sobieski.
Aldous?
It
Alice?
is
She did have a nerd.
Aldous.
Aldous, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something
I think her
interesting.
name was Unitard.
Yeah.
Sexy.
You are now
Unitard.
just remembering the end of the movie when she's wearing the unitard.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of a cool touch, the unitard. It was kind of like appropriately dorky, I thought.
I feel like in this prank scene where the hot guy's gonna ask her to dance and they're gonna pull a prank on her, in that moment, like, she steps out of her weird costume into this gorgeous unitard, like, wow, you are tall, skinny, beautiful. Prank canceled.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
how did he
No,
not
I
fall in
agree.
love with her
I agree.
immediately?
But good for him. He was committed.
Was he in on the prank? I was always kind of
Oh, was he?
wondered.
Yeah, he's a
thought-
bad guy.
Oh no!
I was
really?
always like kind of, I don't know, I always play that both ways.
I
Like,
thought he was
was
like
he in on
the-
it, or were
yeah,
they
he was
just
totally
in
in
on it?
No,
I mean,
he wasn't William Cat from Carrie. He was
No,
properly
because
a jerk.
was he one of the ones who was taking one of the cashiers when they were selling tickets? Wasn't he?
no.
He wasn't one of
No, okay,
those,
okay.
but he always had so much animosity with her. I can't imagine it wasn't always the plan.
Plus, he obviously grows up to be one of those street magicians.
he
The way
looked like a
he
magician
was dressed
the
like
whole
a street
movie.
magician the whole time with his shirt unbuttoned down to here.
He's a baby Chris Angel.
Exactly.
He would move his hands as if he was doing a trick, like, all the time.
And in the limo when he showed her that rose.
He made it appear, you guys.
We should. Speaking of which, we should probably kind of summarize the movie as we go, since we can't assume that
Yes.
everyone's seen this one.
It's true.
Laura, would you like to do the honors?
No, I feel like I've done a lot of talking with someone else. Like to do, I mean, I can, but
Okay, so
okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So,
you're the most well versed in the movie. So.
okay, so Drew Barrymore's character, Josie Geller, works for the Chicago Sun-Times, and she's a copy editor. She gets assigned to, Gary Marshall plays her big boss, and he assigns her to go back to high school because he has a kid in high school, and he wants to know what's going on in high school. He heard some startling reports on what was going on, so he wants to send someone back. Yeah, do an undercover feature, and so he sends her there, and then she goes back, but she had a very traumatic high school experience, and so while she's back in high school, she kind of has to relive some of those traumatic experiences while, also kind of rediscovering, as I said before, rediscovering herself as a person, and along the way, she meets some new people, and she might fall in love, and,
That's, for a moment, that's
Do we know she's a copy editor? How do we know that?
It says at the beginning.
Is it because she obnoxiously corrects every single
That
grammar
is so
error?
not obnoxious. It's
Okay,
so funny.
I want to point out something. She, through the movie, spends lots of times correcting people's English. While we were watching the movie, Sam was about a half beat ahead of her, ready to correct what was said before she corrected it in film, and it was adorable.
I do have a correction coming up too, but we'll get to that a little bit later. How was Gary Marshall? I like Gary Marshall. I thought he was a fun.
Yeah,
He
was
is
fun.
always a bulldozer in every scene he does.
Yeah.
Forget what movie you're in. I'm here now. It's about me.
I enjoyed it.
And I'm confused, but it's the Chicago Sun-Times. They're a big newspaper, but by the way he runs things, it's clear why
Sounds like
newspapers
the worst
are
place
going out.
ever to work.
He's just firing people
Yeah.
indiscriminately. He's talking about the last big cover story that came out of a hair plug incident he had.
I was surprised that the
It's the
Chicago Sun-Times even wanted their name attached to it. Not because,
Yeah.
I mean, nothing to do with the quality of the movie, but because of how
Quality of
unpleasant
this
it looked like it
newspaper.
was to work at the
And
Chicago
then-
Sun-Times.
and they
Not
do
only that,
really-
but you, girl I've hardly ever seen before, you're going to be put on our #1 top story.
You're frumpy
She's-
as all get out, but
Ask absolutely anyone else. They'll tell you she's only a copy editor. She's not a journalist.
And she isn't, because she's walking through the halls of the high school she's going undercover on with her tape recorder, taking notes.
And spoiler alert, journalists aren't supposed to make themselves the story, which she totally does by the end.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
How about
It's called an op-ed, okay? And so many people do it.
that is not
so,
what they asked for.
How about the description of her? Now,
but she gives them 3 other stories along the way.
now
They're
Not-
not sexy. They're not about drugs and sex.
in this movie, she's 25 years old.
Mhm.
She's never been kissed.
No, she
I
has.
figured
She
it
has.
says-
But never
Yeah.
really kissed.
Oh, really? Did I miss that?
Yeah.
She says something like,
Yeah.
I kissed guys, which I think is a lie, you guys. I don't think she just kissed any guys. I think she kissed a cousin once. But she's not fully awakened as a woman, and she's not empowered.
And then when she does that speech, that first kiss speech, and then Octavia Spencer's all, "Damn girl, you are a writer." As soon as she left the room, she's like, "Oh my god, this girl's so pathetic."
But she's a good writer.
And this
That was
movie
what the
takes
damn
place at a
girl was.
really slow news time at the Chicago Sun-Times when everyone is crowded around watching surveillance footage of a high school, just a normal high school.
And all of the surveillance footage, like 6 hours of school a day.
And they weren't fast forwarding through class because they have that scene where the teacher is talking about some bullshit, and everyone falls in love with this teacher.
Well, wouldn't you?
Maybe.
Dreamy Michael Barton. Talking about the obligatory Shakespeare play as summarizing the metaphor of the movie.
Of course he's an English teacher, too.
Why do you say, of course, he's an English teacher?
Because every cool hip
No,
teacher that everyone wants to be friends with is an English teacher.
Mr. Coulson.
Did you have a really cool math teacher when you were in high school?
You know what?
And
I
you
think
wanted-
I had cooler other teachers besides English
Uh-huh.
and other subjects than I did in English.
Everyone wants to grow up to be an English teacher because they're the coolest.
That's the sexy one. You get to play with your hockey stick in class. And
This was the point in the movie, by the way. Oh, no, before I get that. What the hell was she wearing that feather thing?
oh,
On that first day of
okay,
school?
I'm so curious where we're established she does not know about fashion. Her hair is a mess. She's not wearing makeup. But where, once she does make this transformation, is she getting these tips? She has enough that
She says that Molly Shannon's
Does she
character to Anita, I
Okay,
think,
she gets
tells
it.
her,
Oh,
yeah.
I could buy Anita giving
Yeah,
her
no,
a
she
compliment
says,
on
like,
this,
she says, in her little tape recorder that you just made fun of, the memo to self, I'm gonna kill Anita for
Okay,
suggesting
that
to wear
makes sense.
that.
And
Yeah.
then the evolution to when she starts wearing more sensible and more attractive clothing. Like,
Is when she starts hanging out with the popular girls. And they're giving her fashion advice at the mall.
Now, this is the point, by the way. Okay, she's just joined the equivalent of the mathletes, the
denominators.
The denominators. Which, yeah, that was her big plan, was to get in. I'm going to get in with these nerds. That'll really.
They're her people. It was just where she was accepted first. Wonderful Lily
That's
Sobieski
true.
invited her into school when everyone else was being mean.
This was the point in the movie where my mom, who is about the easiest, she was watching the movie with us. She's about the easiest person to please for a movie.
Yeah, she liked Rock of Ages, right?
Yeah. She doesn't like anything too highbrow. And she has pretty much two reviews for movie, or 3. It's bad, which is very, very rare. It's okay, or it was good. This one, and this is a quote, "This is beyond bad."
And I don't know where that came from. The movie was just doing just fine till then. It was not beyond bad.
Well, she did like Rock of Ages, so maybe her tastes are different than...
Can I say, well, maybe I'm jumping ahead. So, this movie, I can buy into most of it, because it's pretty stock, like high school comedy kind of stuff. I can't go with the Michael Vartan teacher thing, because I think he's
Okay, I know this is
creep.
going to be a big thing. No, okay. So I have a whole defense on this.
Okay.
And so Bobby had a big thing, like, oh gosh, she's just so creepy. I don't get it, And my thing is that he is like a mentor towards her, because at the end, he tells her that he wants her to go to Dartmouth, and he's talking to his friend, and he wants to get her in because he sees a lot of potential in her. Mm-hmm. And she also doesn't act like a teenager, So I think that in that way, he kind of sees more potential in her than other students. He never crosses the line. Yes, it's weird that he's at the place with drinking, where when she gets the pot brownie.
But, Laura, that is crossing a line right there.
But it's a place where everyone goes. I mean, it's not like he's like, hey, let me get you a drink or anything. He doesn't do that,
This town has a bronze. It's exciting.
I think when you're a teacher, you don't go to those establishments.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, what, you're gonna not go there if you're a teacher ever? I mean...
I do have to admit that...
It was weird that he was there with them on the same night, but I think it was some kind of function. I don't know. But anyway, that was the only part that I'll concede that maybe was weird that he was there. But yeah, I don't think it's creepy at all. I don't see it like that. I don't.
What about sharing the Ferris wheel thing?
But that was a fundraiser, and I think
Okay.
But the Ferris wheel scene, I will say, so the Ferris wheel scene, there's this really great moment between the two of them where he gives her like legitimately cool life advice, where he says, like, I would say it changes, but it doesn't, and it's actually very honest kind of advice about, what it's like after high school. But then he takes it one huge step further where, that ends with the whole, actually, I shouldn't say that because I'm your teacher line, which is just so gross. It's like
But it's not creepy. Like,
it's hard. Like, first, 18-year-old Lauren watching this movie, way into this storyline. Like, Michael Vartan was super dreamy, and I'm so excited for Drew Barrymore. Watching it now, I was like, oh, this would not be appropriate between a teacher and a student. Even though I'm willing to exceed the consent of the movie, I don't think he's a creep. But in that scene, he, starts going in on a story about his girlfriend and how she...
Right, and I think...
don't tell that to a student.
Exactly. I think that's the line you draw.
And also, at this point in the movie... she has been so awkward and so uncomfortable and so not herself even that I'm not sure why he likes her yet. I don't, enough to say that to her like that. I don't have a problem with her eventually falling in love with her and eventually getting there, but at this point, she hasn't made that transformation discovery in herself yet. And so what is he attracted to so far? Just the super awkwardness that we've seen?
Well, there are points where she tells him, she talks to him about, she goes off on these tangents about these characters, and she talks about, because it shows her in class, and,
she's the student who gets him.
Yeah, and I mean, and she talks about, I think she even says, oh yeah, and you're Gordie Howe, or whatever, his hockey story, so she brings that back, and I think that kind of makes this connection happen. And I'm not saying that your point... you didn't make up some valid points about, whether or not it's appropriate. But I mean, I think as a younger person watching it was fine, you don't see that as that's weird or
anything. If you're a younger person watching it, it could very well fulfill fantasy.
It was really
right, but which doesn't necessarily make it good. I think, as an older person with perspective, you're oh, of course, a younger high school student is gonna, I don't know, I feel like that character's lucky and that Drew Barrymore is a 25-year-old, Because otherwise he's hitting on a 17-year-old, and that's totally not cool. And I know he's not.
But then he's saying, I shouldn't say that because I'm your teacher. So he's stopping himself.
But he did not stop himself from dancing with her at the prom.
Which I feel has to not be allowed.
And this is where I'm sure we may all disagree. What do you think he wanted to tell her? At the prom.
Yeah, that's...
I got the sense that he was going to tell her that he was moving. I know you're all going to say, oh, no, he wasn't moving because he broke up with his girlfriend.
But
I think he might have been.
Because after he finds out the truth and is mad, there's scenes of him packing up all his stuff as he's moving away. My big question was, why is he moving? Where's he moving?
I took it as he stormed off the dance floor because he found out she was 25 and suddenly she was...
Gross.
Right?
Yeah.
Done.
And I did see the possible both sides of it, but that has to enter into your head at some point. Unless he says, I'm leaving because you're a liar, then we don't know.
And the movie definitely wants you to think that he's about to pour his heart out to her and say, I love you and I know it's wrong. Because it's totally wrong.
Or also he could be wanting to convince her about going to college. Because he starts to,
true.
And then he gets interrupted, and then...
And she's maintained, I'm not going to college. Because that's what she's been.
That's fair.
I assumed that he was going to say, when's your birthday? And that was going to lead into the next part of the conversation.
We don't want to be sued by Michael Vartan's character, so we understand he didn't do anything illegal.
No.
But...
Yes, we appreciate that. Nothing here was entirely inappropriate.
I want to say that pi does not equal 3.145786999.
I missed that one.
In the montage of the mathletes events that they're doing,
After
there's
the
one
Simpsons
point
play over the... Bless you.
We're seeing the montage of all the fun activities the nerds are getting up to together, and there was a bake sale, and it says pi equals
3.14578699, which it is not.
What is it?
It's just 5 digits, 3.14159.
Which, if anyone should know, it's the mathletes.
Right? And not only that, but even if they did have it correct, it should not have been equal sign. It should have been one of those squiggly equal sign. That means it equals roughly 3.1415.
Yeah, Sam is
Well,
revealing.
you guys
that he
really
was
had
one
a
of these nerds in
nitpick
school.
on this movie because there wasn't a lot else to nitpick.
You know what this movie needed was a copy editor.
But fair attention to detail. That
Yeah.
oh, the athletes really should have known that.
And speaking of the mathletes, shouldn't they be retroactively disqualified from other competitions now?
Because they
They had a 25-year-old on their team.
What about the baseball team?
That too. And speaking of competitions, who won the prom First of all, who has prom competitions?
This is a huge part. This school, their prom theme is so important.
They say how they're, because remember Lily Sobieski's character, she says like, oh yeah, prom's really important and we're
Right,
always
yeah.
in competition.
Because there's a competition.
And then not only that, but when they're like, the other team chose Millennium too, it's like Millennium was an automatic winner.
Everyone was choosing
It was,
Millennium.
we don't even need to
Well, it was
decorate.
1999, so it was right before the
Everyone
millennium.
And that was my
choosing
thought, was
Millennium.
everyone.
Y2K was a big deal.
But
That's it.
no, I agree
I
with
don't
that.
even know what my rival schools had for their prom thing.
Exactly.
And how do you have a prom
But
competition?
it was a big
Is
deal.
there a
I totally get it.
prize?
Because at my high school, it was a big deal. Like, where the prom was going to be.
Sure.
And,
Do
there
you
was
know
that
what?
thing.
Do you know what your
For you
rival
guys.
schools had for their prom?
No,
thing?
but it was
But
it
that-
was a big thing.
but that
Like, and
seems-
people were there. Where we had ASB, where people were on the
Yeah.
committee to
Yeah.
see that.
But this movie sets up the conceit that it's a competition between the schools, and like, oh, we got this one, we're gonna win the competition.
Well, like-
oh no, they're doing it too. We're gonna lose.
Well, in the sense of like they're doing the same thing. Like they want to show up the other schools, you know, and look better in front of them. I get it. You know, you want to say that everyone talk about your prom being so cool versus someone else's prom being better, you know?
All right, maybe this is a Chicago thing though, because I do want to ask. It's all revealed at prom that Drew Barrymore has really been in disguise, and the very next day there is an article in the rival newspaper covering the shocking reveal. What reporter was covering the prom?
So all you Chicago listeners, get back to us. Let us
Yes,
know
let us
how
know.
big the prom
Is
is in the
prom
newspapers.
the most important thing in the city?
I liked her speech
Yeah.
when she
I did too.
revealed herself. I thought that was
I
as
teared
far
up a
as
little.
the monologue at the end of the high school.
I
romantic
think
comedy
you're
way, I
jumping
think-
ahead of yourself because, I mean, all the montages back where she, you know, you see her through up
Oh.
until that point. I mean, I think you get the sense of why
No,
it was so...
and I'm saying it was a really cool speech. I
Yeah,
think,
no,
to
it
have,
was
yeah.
an awesome speech.
You know what I liked? When they first go to that place where Lily Sobieski and our hero, Geller, whatever her name was,
Josie Geller.
They drive up to the place where everyone smokes and hangs out. And then they get turned away by Chris Angel Mind Freak. Young Chris Angel Mind Freak. And and they're having this conversation that like, don't you want to go there? And Lily's like, no, it's just a bunch of kids smoking. I thought it was really good. She was like holding in the tears and like, and it was understated. It was like the most understated thing in the movie. Cause like, no, yeah, she really does care, but they're not. It's actual subtext and not text.
Everyone's experience of high school and the outsider is like, no, I don't want to be part of that, except
Yeah.
I do.
And I thought that was really cool. And I wish I would have liked more of that.
I'm really bummed that Lily Sobieski's character kind of just disappears halfway through the movie. Like she gets burned and then she comes back for prom, and that's
Once Josie has to start hanging out with the popular kids, because that's
Yeah.
where the story is. She has to burn her geek friends.
yeah. And it was cool that she like protects her at the end, but yeah, I missed her geek friends.
Yeah.
But then once they get back together, she's got this cool 25-year-old she gets to hang out with and
Yes.
buy her beer. And
we see her hanging out with the 25-year-old. And it's kind of a big win.
Molly Shannon, that no one should be hanging out with because she's a big old slut. in this
Oh my
movie.
God, Molly Shannon's
She's amazing.
sex talk.
It was the most.
That was funny.
It was so
That was
contrived, but
legitimately
also
funny.
really fun. When she gets mistaken for the sex ed teacher.
And it just keeps going too. That's a long scene.
They had to get props and everything. How old? When did Drew Barrymore go to school in this? Because take place in
she's 99.
99.
She's 25.
She's 25.
So she graduated.
They're playing music from
the
early
80s.
mid 80s.
No, actually, I looked it up. Like a Prayer was released in
Okay, like
1989.
a prayer. Okay.
And that was the main song that they played.
Maybe I'm just thinking of Cutting Crew, which they played, which actually did play.
She's dressed for prom in the 80s, which
But
we
she
could
must-
chalk up to her not having a good fashion sense.
But she must have graduated in 91, 92? What are we saying?
And Madonna's big.
I can't do math, Lauren.
Yeah, it was in 91.
7 years.
We are none of us.
Because
as good at
she
this.
was in. So that was, let's just say she was 17, so that was 8 years ago, and then 1999, so 91, 90.
She could have been 18, too.
90, yeah, depending.
Okay, and then
So it's like, in the early 90s, the 80s were still fashion. I mean...
and she's unfashionable, so she's
right, so she's... Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And like I said, they played I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight in contemporary times when she first lays her eyes on...
Well, it's like any movie now that plays an older song. I mean, there are plenty.
This cool-ass prom played a Smith song. When,
they did.
Which was my favorite part.
The movie played a cover of Schoolhouse Rock in the middle of it.
I wish this whole movie... It should have been a revenge movie on Billy, the guy who throws eggs at her in her prom flashback.
Should have tracked her down.
Awful.
Oh gosh, the flashbacks.
What the hell?
All
so
of poor
sad.
Awkward Drew makes me so sad, but the flashbacks, I just want to reach out and give her a little hug and protect her and all nerdy high schoolers. That guy is the worst.
I know,
Egging
laughing
her.
at the pea or the soda coming out of her backpack.
Yeah, everyone playing pranks.
And the whole movie is, like, really light up until that point, and, like, watching that, I just felt so deflated.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Like, everything is horrible. What jerk invites the nerd to prom and then eggs her when she's all in a dress and pretty?
That was rotten.
It was so... Because it's eggs. I get it.
What?
Yeah, it hurts. Like, my inner nerd high school outcast just reaches out to Josie and wants to protect her, and I'm so... This, movie is an anthem to all of us. Like, we found ourselves. Eventually we grow up and get stronger, and yay!
So Josie makes a Josie and the Pussycats reference, and she makes it as though, like, hey guys, it's really, really contemporary, and everyone just kind of, like, no one catches on.
Okay, she says it to Lily Sobieski's character,
right.
and that's
Who's a
all.
nerd.
That's all.
Okay, sure.
Literally,
So
you're
she says it to
saying
Lily
she
Sobieski's
says it to
character.
one person.
Okay, so she says it to one person who kind of looks at her like she's crazy. But Josie and the Pussycats is so earlier than the early 90s.
I'm...
So
Her parents seem
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Barrymore is 1 year my senior, and I had no idea... Back then I had no idea who Josie and the
Really?
Pussycats
I
were.
was aware of Josie and the Pussycats.
I knew that.
I do like as a reference of, like, oh, child. Like, oh, you don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't think that
Okay. That's fair.
I mean, because it was around her parents, so they would be, like, hey, if we ever have a daughter, let's name her Josie because we like Josie and the Pussycats,
And which you would be aware of.
Yeah. I mean, it's like your grandma naming your aunt after that famous star who she had no idea, It's kind of like that.
Wait, what's this about?
Robert Mitchum? Was that your name? No. Okay, so where were we?
We're all over the place. baby.
Yeah. So okay, she finally gets in good with the.
Well, how does she get in good with the popular kid?
Oh yeah,
Her brother, David
who
Arquette.
saves the day? A man.
Oh my god. David Arquette.
We've not talked about David Arquette
Okay,
yet.
David Arquette is lovely, and I think he's really funny in this movie.
I enjoyed him.
But what the hell is going on with his character? Like, the motivation of, like, okay, so it's fine to just, as an adult, register for high school, because who cares?
Well, he works at a copy center, so of course he can make a fake ID and register without any parental consent.
And then Josie, whose whole thing is she's trying to find a scoop for, like, questionable things happening in high school. It's just like, you know what? Yeah, bro, why don't you be in high school with me so I'm not alone?
It should be about this shoddy admissions process.
Oh my
You're
god,
right.
Especially how close he gets to
never
sleeping with a
says, "Oh yeah,
16-year-old."
come on in, do it."
She certainly doesn't try to stop him.
Well, once he's in, what is she gonna do? Hey, this guy, let me
You're
expose this
23.
guy.
You're hanging out with children.
And then, yeah, not only that, but like she's 16, and not like trying to.
No,
put a stop-
she's 17. She's supposed to be 17.
No. I mean,
his
when-
girlfriend.
Yeah, when Josie is talking to
okay.
Arquette, and she's like, she's 16, and it's not like she's trying to talk him out of it, but not really trying to stop him. Like, she's 16. You really, really shouldn't do this.
Well,
I'm gonna go in the other room now.
Well,
Don't
she's-
have sex with her.
She's going to stop him, but then the hunky guy that's finally coming around to her, who is now her chance to relive her high school experience with the unrequited love, is into her. So it's a double standard. You can't tell me not to, Josie, when you're going after the Chris Angel mind freak. And you guys, this is also David Arquette's opportunity to relive high school, because for him, high school was amazing, and the last time he was, a star and in control.
Bobby couldn't understand that. He was like, why would he want to go back?
Creepy. He's a 23-year-old in high school.
But he's got a Peter Pan complex. He
Yeah,
never
it's
lived
like
past
you don't-
high
He goes to
school.
prom in his underwear and dresses his prom date up as a prostitute.
Okay, he doesn't dress her up. She dresses herself up.
Which is empowering.
First of all, I don't think anyone here gets the whole peaking at high school. I think we all peaked post high school. But for those who
Guys,
did,
I peaked in high school. I don't know. I don't know what I can tell you.
No, okay. I mean, okay, so he goes back to high school because he wants to play baseball. That's his ultimate goal.
He missed his shot before because he got sick.
So he wants to do that, and then someone falls in love with him. I'm talking. Please let me finish. So someone falls in love with him who's a 16-year-old, and kind of. I mean, she's kind of like she's in high school, so. Anyway, so he goes to prom with her, and she wears a very short dress. Yes, we all admit it's super short. I don't really think he dresses her. She dresses herself.
She's dressed.
I'm talking. Please let me finish. And he is dressed as Tom Cruise in Risky Business, so it's the white shirt and covering the underwear. So,
but okay.
Can I make a quick note?
Yes.
The theme of the prom is obviously famous couples.
Yes,
and
there
so
were
who would she be
lots
dressed as?
of inappropriate costumes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very like
But
the girl who
the
dressed
Barbies?
as
If I
tropical
might say,
Barbie. Yeah.
if they're dressed as famous couples, who might his date be dressed as?
She said Barbie.
Rebecca De Mornay. Oh, wait.
Rebecca De Mornay from Risky Business, who was a prostitute.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I have not seen that movie.
Okay.
I thought she was dressed as Barbie as well. But.
Continue.
Okay, so she's dressed as that. But anyway, so your point being, I don't know what your point is.
They're gonna go have sex in the subway.
No, she tells him, like, I want to...
Did you guys watch the DVD? I'm kidding.
Sorry, that's something that happened in Risky Business.
I want to have sex, and he's like, no,
Yes,
not
and
gonna
then
happen.
he showed restraint.
No.
He did.
And so, I mean, I don't
and
know...
she was cute too.
Which is great.
And she was a gymnast, you guys.
If you were reading this in the newspaper,
dream.
23-year-old goes undercover in high school for her own personal benefit, dates 16-year-old, but thank God stops short of sex. The thank God stops short of sex is like the bare minimum, You're still totally creeped out that 23-year-old goes undercover.
It's like, why, okay. I guess my feeling is, okay, they're 6 years apart. Yes, 7 years apart. Yes, 16 and 23 are a big difference. But it's like, don't you think that happens in high school now? I mean, I think plenty...
statutory rape.
Yes.
I think that there are people who...
Absolutely. I
don't
agree
think
that
they
it happens.
pose as 17-year-olds.
Now, I just want to make
get
it
the
clear,
16-year-olds
the In Defense of Bad Movies gang does not, we are not statutory rapist apologists.
But that's what you're saying.
Clearly.
Just Laura.
but I'm, okay.
No.
Absolutely not. No, no. We're gonna cut this part right here.
But I think I understand what you're saying is that, these guys can attest that all men are gross, and of course 23-year-olds
Right.
would love to get with 16-year-olds.
Right,
But
exactly.
David
Especially
Arquette did
gymnasts.
not. He stopped.
Absolutely stopped
He
it.
realized he was in the fantasy, and it was inappropriate.
And
Yeah,
so...
I think he was waiting till prom night, quite frankly.
And I think that what you're trying to say is
did.
like, hey, it's
and-
weird. And I'm like, well, it might be weird, but he doesn't do anything with her. He wants, it's more like about his
And
goals
he's
and aspirations.
mentally a 17-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
So he forgot for a moment that,
Sure.
this is wrong.
And I'm
he
saying,
remembered.
yes, no, in no way is
Well, and
he
there's
in the
that
movie
one
a
scene-
statutory rapist,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
being an
and
almost
there's that
statutory
one scene
rapist.
That's still pretty
where the girl says, hey, are you going to work at the Tiki Post after high school? Like, that's kind of
Oh,
lame.
I like that. I
and
thought that
it's
was a cool
like
scene.
Even the child is more mature than you are.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah, that was great.
realization.
That was really
I mean,
great.
and I think that shows where he's at, which is not very far in life.
Yes. But I don't think the movie punishes him at all for making this really bizarre and awful choice to go undercover as an adult at high school and hang out with a bunch of kids, which is not acceptable in any...
I would say what his eventual reward, which Josie kind of works out for the end game, is that he gets to be
Exactly.
the coach of the team. I feel like a little bit more is required to be able to work with children as well. Like maybe a background check or, hey,
And
you
if your
just
background
defrauded
check...
the school?
Yeah.
Maybe they did do you don't know that they didn't do a background check.
That's true. I think they're going to find a lot of drug use.
And again, we don't want David Arquette's character going after us, so we understand that he didn't... He did do something illegal.
Rob Geller, we understand that you're a good guy.
And you mentioned how this was in her story too. that is really bad because everyone in Chicago reads the newspaper.
Everybody does.
That's true of any
But
movie.
in
But that's
1999,
true,
the
too.
newspaper the internet hadn't really taken off at that point. So you have to
In
think about it.
1989, not everyone read the newspaper.
No, but I mean,
But
like, a big source of the news was the newspaper.
But it did have...
I was going to say, and in fairness, any movie where the newspaper is central, that's a conceit of the movie, is that everyone's reading this.
Every single person on the L platform heading into work is reading the same op-ed piece.
Yeah.
As if it was the best news. Nothing's happening in the Middle East right now. You guys are fine. Just read that.
Okay, so she gets into the cool people. They want her to, break this story about the pedophile teacher of hers. She doesn't want to do it because she doesn't really think it's going on that way. Blah, 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 blah. We talked about the prom thing. So she reveals that she's 25. She puts this story out, everything, and then she sets herself up to show up in the middle of this baseball game. And she sets the clock to 5 minutes, and she basically says, "Come and please kiss me," to the teacher.
To my word.
Now that you know that I'm 25.
Yeah, the story is her explanation and her apology.
And then so they start the countdown. And when it gets to 10 seconds, everyone's counting down, like 10, 9. It's like they don't realize that when this counts down to 0,
because it seems like they're all supportive, like they're excited
Yeah.
for her, they're now rallying behind her, and they think it's romantic and wonderful.
But
they're really excited now.
At the end of 5 minutes, if he doesn't show up, that she's saying, "Oh, I'm alone still," and then
I think.
And it does happen when they hit 0. Everyone's like, 0! Oh,
maybe they misunderstood. Maybe
they forgot.
Yeah.
You love a countdown so much. So
maybe they
thought
the countdown was, he's coming out at the end.
It's going to be a last minute. It's
Not,
exciting.
he has to show up at some point during the 5 minutes. Which was...
It took a lot of time to park his ice cream truck, so...
There were way more people.
No, okay, to be fair, I think it was Roger Ebert who said that, the movie tackles that's a really cornball scene, but it tackles it with such earnestness that you're willing to allow some concession. And I would agree to the extent that, like, yes, that movie is just really, really going for that scene. And you're like, oh, that's great. I still can't get behind the conceit of, like, this teacher. Like, I don't like him at that point, so I still think he's a creep. And I don't know, like, the countdown, I didn't take any issue with that. I just still couldn't understand why we're supposed to root for these two people to be together.
I mean, he's the obligatory guy. What he is
Yeah.
is what he means to her. Like, he's something real and strong in her life that will help her transition. But you're right. I feel we kind of like him, but a little bit because we're told to. I'd like if we knew him better, and we could be more excited about this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's just a nice enough guy so far. But we know Josie so well. I want to make sure she's with a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, I've been crapping on the movie, but there were 2 points. The prom scene really, when she had her speech, at that moment I realized, like, I may not be enjoying this movie a whole lot, but I am invested in these characters now.
Yeah.
And the same thing at the very end. We're like, oh, he's got to show up, you know. And I know, you know, I've watched movies, I know he's going to, but at the same time I'm like, well, he better. You know.
And weirdly, and I don't know that this has happened with any of the movies we've watched so far, Josie at the beginning of the movie, I wanted to strangle, like, with her correcting everyone. Just, I did not like her at all. And by the end, I wanted to give her a hug. Like, I had honestly had a flip on Josie, you know, like, I found her way more sympathetic at the end of the movie than at the beginning, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, you're a Drew Barrymore hater,
And
so...
She is so talented.
No,
she's
okay,
really good.
50 First Dates was on last night, and I turned it on, and he was like, I like that movie, I just don't like her in the movie. She's the main fucking part of the movie, excuse my language, but the movie centers on her. You are such a jackass.
I will not excuse your language, you are held in contempt.
I think Drew Barrymore is lovely. I think she's a wonderful role model.
Excuse my language,
she's an
but
empowered woman.
he
She's
is
great.
so wrong.
I love her.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
That's good.
Any other big points anyone has?
Any big points? I don't know.
I think I covered all my stuff.
I agree with it that, I mean, even though the movie has flaws, like, it is so earnest, and I want to take Josie's journey. I think you're right when you say that she was not the most likable in the beginning, and that's the whole journey of the movie, that she gets comfortable with herself and strong enough that people can start responding better to her, and, like, I love her journey so much.
I forgot to say that also we have an inexplicable love connection between Molly Shannon and John C. Reilly.
No, it's not explicable. It you feel it throughout the whole movie.
You know the two have a chemistry.
She started looking at him lasciviously, but I feel like she does that with about 80% of the men out there, and maybe a good chunk of the women, just based on her character.
Just to make sure she sends things out continually.
I was picking up vibes between Molly Shannon and Octavia Spencer. I don't know about anyone else.
That would have been fun. So, good movie? You know,
that's hard to say.
Well, I'm going to be lazy, and we've got to get this podcast out in a couple of days, so there's not going to be a commercial. So, do you guys need time to deliberate?
No, I think we're pretty solid on what we think.
So, Laura, did we change your mind? Do you hate this movie now?
No,
Okay.
I still absolutely love it.
Good. And Lauren, how about you?
I don't. Well, I can acknowledge flaws and have a hard time saying good movie. I still think that it's an interesting journey and that I care about these people and I like Josie. And
I'm going to go with me next because you are a question mark. I'm honestly not sure what you're doing. It was what, 56% on Rotten Tomatoes?
57.
57? That's about right. I'm not going to say it's a horrible movie. It's not a great movie, but it had enough heart that it was middling.
It's the best movie we've watched.
How about you, Bobby?
I was actually going to say exactly what you said about 57 seems about right. There is an earnestness to the movie.
You go first.
There is an earnestness to the movie that is really refreshing. And I mean, while I can say probably it's not my thing, it's fine for most of it. I can't, part of me can't get past the creepy teacher and the weirdness of like an adult going, like an adult male going undercover in high school, not for any purpose other than his own betterment. Like that. That is a roadblock that I can't totally get past.
Do you think he did? I mean, he. I felt like part of it was to really talk her up. Like that was his primary motivation.
I think you're looking into it
was kind of a bonus.
in a very like creepy way, and I think he was just trying to help his sister out.
The very description of like 23-year-old pretends to be a high school student because anything other than undercover news story, like, or drug bust or whatever, like, feels weird. It feels really, really strange, you know? Like, there's something that just doesn't settle right. But, like,
I think you're looking at it from a very critical perspective. And I think this movie
like a judge would.
as a judge would.
No, I think you're coming at it at the wrong angle. I think, you know, it's like, it's not perfect. And I'm not saying it's perfect, but I think that you're missing the point of the movie. Sure. It's not about him per se.
And if you take,
okay, we're gonna go in circles here. So I'm gonna cut you off right now.
We're legitimately not. I'm gonna say if you take the movie on its own wacky rules of its own universe, then it's fine. Like there's really not much. There's not too much wrong with it. I don't know if I can buy into the conceit of it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other final words?
I think you guys should go see it if you haven't.
Do you want to plug anything?
I don't think so.
How about you, Bobby?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter if you want. At Bob Mattern.
Oh yeah, follow. Go on to Facebook. Turn. I'm sorry, I'm gonna back because
That's true.
Well, I believe it's still my. It's still my place.
I'm gonna interject and say,
so Lauren,
can we go to Facebook and for In Defense of Bad Movies and like us if you do like us because that would give us give us feedback and it's always nice to hear from you and you can go to our website which is indefenseofbadmovies.tumblr.com.
Yeah.
And it's on our Facebook page too.
Ask us some freaking questions. We'd love to have a listener mail segment.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
If you have comments on the movies or anything else you want to say.
Yeah. How about you, Lauren?
Nothing for me.
Okay. You can follow me on Sambo and Comedy. This is at Twitter. My improv troupe, The Upperclassmen, we're in negotiations with where we do our shows, so we don't currently have any dates, but look out for those. And I think that's about it. So, good show, guys.
Yeah, good show, everyone. And we're all still friends.
Yay! And again, Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year!